All right. On today's episode, we have a lot of people. We were only expecting 2 people, but 4 people showed up, which is fine. Thank you for coming. And the original 2 people were Collins, who came all the way from Uganda to come to Denver, Colorado, who is actually going to a lot of places across the U.S., and we'll talk about that. Yeah. Jayme Ward, of course, who was with us not too long ago.
That's right.
And Rita and pronounce it for me again? Kavika. Okay. Well, we ended up with 4 people, and we're going to share some microphones and took off the headsets, but that's fine. Thank you guys for coming.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah. Collins, you are the one we've been waiting for. We had a podcast with Jayme. She told us all about Faraway Friends. Yeah. And since then, she's been saying, can't wait for Collins to come so you can interview Collins. Yes. And it happened so fast. You were just here.
I know, right?
Wasn't it just last month?
It's crazy how time flies.
Was it August or was it September?
I think it was September. Yeah. Now you guys are here. It's real. It's happening.
Yes.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've learned about Faraway Friends. I don't know. Did you watch the episode at all?
Yes, I did watch some of Jayme's podcast.
Yeah. Was there anything that you wanted to add to that we didn't cover?
Well, you guys actually covered a lot. She talked about how we met, right?
Yeah, in school?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, at Lakewood High School?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess I'm interested to know about you and who Collins is.
Yeah.
So can you share with us your story and who Collins is, and then lead into this story that Jayme started to share with us already, how you guys started Faraway Friends.
Yeah. So my name is Collines Angwech, and I am a co-founder of Faraway Friends and country director, Faraway Friends Uganda. I am a mother of 2, and I'm married. I live in northern Uganda. So I've come all the way from Uganda with Rita, of course, and we're just moving around talking about the work that Faraway Friends is doing in northern Uganda, and we are raising awareness and fundraising to help continue to support our work in Uganda. But Jayme told you a little bit about how we met. It's actually here in Colorado that Jayme and I met, and at the time I was touring with an organization called Invisible Children, and Invisible Children was creating awareness and advocating on behalf of children in northern Uganda that were being abducted and forced to fight as child soldiers. These children between the age of 5 and 15 were being abducted, brainwashed to believe that their community is bad and that they can overthrow the government, and they would be given machetes and guns, and they go back into their communities and burn houses and kill their family members. And this war was going on for over 20 years, and really the world didn't know much about it. And so when 3 young Americans from the US came to Uganda and stumbled upon this war in northern Uganda, they were shocked and didn't know why the world didn't know about something as big as that. And so they created a documentary that they were sharing with communities in the US. They were sharing with schools, churches, and really any places of gathering, and also trying to advocate for the US government to join forces with Ugandan government to come down the rebel group. And they were also fundraising to support students in northern Uganda that were highly affected by the war and didn't have access to quality education. And I was lucky to be one of the people that were chosen to get an education through the Invisible Children Scholarship Fund. And they chose me also to come to the US and share my experience growing up in a war zone as a child, and also now being able to access education. And that's how I met Jayme. When I came to Jayme's school, Jayme hosted us for a presentation, and Jayme was sick that day, I remember, but she still got an opportunity to come. And thankfully, we had a lengthy discussion about the war, growing up in northern Uganda, growing up in a war zone, and also really lack of access to resources that children in my community were faced with. And I invited Jayme to come and see my community firsthand, and even though Jayme and I had grown up in totally different parts of the world, we still had visions and dreams about the same things. I was going to the university at the time, and I was studying international relations. And Jayme as well wanted to study international relations in the university, and she was, hoping for women empowerment activities. She was looking at education for every child, and I was hoping after school I would go back and build a school that provided quality education for my family members and community members in a Molatar, something that wasn't there. And so we shared so much in common, and she finally came to visit me, and we decided we were going to start the organization. And together with support of Jayme's community and all our friends here in the US, we were able to build a school that, as I speak now, is educating and feeding 500 children.
Yeah, that's everything you told us on the last podcast. So what was the process like of starting Faraway Friends? Was it easy? Was it challenging? Or did it go pretty smooth? And was it exciting, I'm sure?
Yeah. Of course, as young people, we were just excited to do something about how we felt. We were excited to do something about our dreams and jump right in, start an organization. We didn't fear. I mean, jump fast and fear later. Exactly what Jayme and I did. We kept talking about it for a while until one time I came to the US and met Jayme's boyfriend at the time, now her fiancé. And he was like, you guys are going to talk about this for how long? Why don't you just start the organization? And boom, we started Faraway Friends. I went back home to my community. I told my mom, look, we want to build a school. And she was like, well, the only thing I can give you is land. And here is 7 acres of land. If you want to build a school, please go ahead and build a school. And I shared the dream with some of the community members. And I tell you guys, my community was able to come together, make all the bricks that we needed, dig out stones that was needed for the constructions. And everybody made it seem easy because everyone was very supportive, and Jayme was moving door to door, having house parties, advocating on the behalf of the children in my community, and with support from different individuals from different capacities. It made it easy, and it looked easy to build a school. But the difficult part came after we had built the school. Now we had to hire teachers and non-teaching staff to take care of the children. And in our first year, we had a few, maybe 100 or so number of students, but every year it continued growing. And now as I speak, we are at 500, but the challenge came with taking care of all these children, feeding them every day, 3 meals a day. They have medical issues. We have staff to pay every month. And so it seemed easy at the beginning, but it has been, a rough road, but we've managed it.
I'm sure you guys have learned a lot in the process.
Yes, we've learned so much from it. We've grown.
Yeah.
We've literally grown up together through this work. Who would have known when I was in high school, you were in university, that here we would be, you're a mom now, we're so far out of that life. And now we're, coming back here, bringing Collins and Rita and now more friends, and bringing the story back to the high school where it all started. We were at that high school today speaking about our work and working with some kids there. So
is that the first time you guys have been back at Lakewood High School to talk to people about Faraway Friends?
7 years since we were last here. When Jayme and I started building the school, we came back to Lakewood High School and actually did a whole week presentation at Lakewood to fundraise to roof the school. So we've been back to Lakewood. The last time Rita and I were here, Rita, did you go to Lakewood? Yeah, so we didn't go to Lakewood, but yeah, I've been to Lakewood a few times.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was 2015 when Lakewood did that big week-long fundraiser for us. And so that was kind of the start of our journey at the school. And now we've been able to come back and tell them how we've grown and how they can get involved in, being a closer part of our work. So it's been awesome.
Yeah. And the conflicts and everything that led to a lot of the problems in Uganda, which led to a lot of the needs for the schools that weren't available because what happened with the prior conflicts. And I was looking up Uganda. What I read was that there's been conflicts from like forever, from like major conflicts from like the 1960s, or has it even been before that?
Yeah, Uganda has gone through some really big conflicts, and every government that has come to power, especially the current one, fought its way into power. And from when we took over power from the British, the Ugandan governments have been going through, war here and there, and also different parts of Uganda. Like, we come from northern Uganda. There was the LRA, but there were also other small groups that were fighting. There was a Loholok in Namasale, Molatar, where we come from. At the time that the president of Uganda currently, Museveni, coming to power, he was also, in the bush, and he came to power through, a coup.
So how was it for you as a child, you and your family, and maybe you have siblings as well?
Yeah, Rita and I are actually siblings. And,
you are. I didn't know that, Rita. Sorry. This is your sister. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So how was it like for you guys, growing up during those hard times? And because you guys were young when the children were being taken and forced to be child soldiers, right?
Yeah, I was born in 1988, the same year that the war, that the LRA was started in northern Uganda. And so from that time, and of course there was a Loholok and all these other small military groups that were fighting. And growing up during that time, like I said, young children were being abducted and forced to fight. And I remember my dad took us to study in another district of Lira. And even in Lira, we would have to leave our school in the evening and go to sleep in the city areas, maybe sleep on the streets or in the churches, or sometimes in like city halls, or our relatives were living in the middle of the city. Sometimes we would have to go and sleep there, and all of this was in fear of being abducted. So you worry that maybe this evening, if we sleep at school, the LRA will come and abduct us. I remember one day we were just hanging out in the balcony of our school office, and it was raining, so we started seeing smoke from near the school, and everyone was like, what is that? Who is burning the bushes when it's raining? But it was actually really the LRA. They had attacked a radio station near our school, and they had set it all up on fire. And so we had to run in the rain, and so many other times that we had to run in the rain to try and go and hide from the LRA.
So your father was pretty smart then. He kind of tried to protect you guys from the LRA, or
Yeah.
from that exposure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or where are your parents now? Or
I lost my dad during that same time of the war. He died. He was sick. But yeah, like you said, he really tried so hard to get us to places that we were safe or we could get an education. And his dream was to see us educated.
well, you're not just educated; you're educating other people now.
Yeah.
So, congratulations! I think you made him proud.
I was lucky. I was very lucky to get an organization that could send me to school. And in return, I had to make sure that my siblings were educated too. So while I was getting a scholarship, I was also working with different people to raise money to send my siblings to school.
Yeah. How old are you, Rita?
Oh, I'm 31.
31. So you're younger than her. No? Are you? Who's
Old-
the oldest? You're
I'm
oldest?
the oldest. I'm 34.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. How old are you, Jamie?
I'm gonna be 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So she's older than you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We're the sisters here.
Yeah.
It's me,
Okay.
Rita, Jamie.
I thought you and Collins were like in the same school, same grade, everything.
I was in the university when I first met Jamie.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
know that. Okay. Now it makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. How many siblings do you guys have?
6.
6?
Yes.
Brothers, sisters?
One boy.
One boy, 5 sisters.
Yeah.
Oh, that poor guy. No. So last time Jamie was here, she was telling us how the school, how you guys structured everything was to make it like self-sustaining.
Yes.
So that is like everybody, the workers who built it, the products that built it, you guys tried to locally source the labor and the materials for everything.
Yeah. One thing that Faraway Friends tries to do is to use local leadership and really help the Ugandans do whatever they think is right to bring development to their community. And we are trying to, avoid bringing dependency syndrome, which is something that was very common with the war. Everything was being handed to northern Uganda because of the war, and people were living in IDP camps. But now we can just support the communities and support the young people, inspire and empower them to do what they believe they need.
Yeah. Helping people doesn't really make them stronger if you don't let them learn and let them, because now you're educating Ugandans, you're teaching Ugandans, you're providing an economy for Ugandans. That's making your fellow Ugandans stronger.
Yeah.
If somebody just went in there and just handed you free stuff and then left, the people are no stronger.
Yeah, then we'll be opening our hands and waiting for the next one. But with an education, we believe that if we educate people, we are helping the educated people change what they don't like or what is not right in their own communities. And really what we've seen with our children at Global Leaders is that these kids have potential. They are able to change things. They are able to achieve great heights, and we are only giving them the tools. Like from the very first time we did our first PLE, and I want to tell you, before we built the school, each time the national examination results would be coming back, I didn't want to watch the television that day because our district would be at the bottom, and it was just sad to see that, the community schools in Amolatar are competing nationally with all the schools in Uganda, but the resources that are provided in these rural schools are not measuring up for them to be able to compete. So we are trying to level the ground for our kids in the rural areas. And from 2018, the first PLE we've done, we've had all our children pass at 100%. And this is just a testament that if provided the tools that they need, they can achieve anything.
Yeah, that's anybody. Yeah. There's a lot of people in the world who do not have a lot of things, whether it be education or technology, or in economy. So yeah, when you give people an opportunity, I think anybody can thrive, no matter who they are.
That's true.
No matter who they are.
Yeah.
There's those. Have you seen those people? They're on the island, Seminole Island. It's right off of India. Have you heard of that island? You have? Yeah. These people are like untouched forever.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they can't. I'm sure they don't know math or science. I mean, in their own way, they know how to add things. They know, okay,
we're business.
We're hunting 2 of those things. They have a way to say 2, I'm sure, amongst themselves, but not the same way that the rest of the world does. But I bet you could take those same people, you could educate them, teach them things, and they can learn it. Anybody can. Yeah. Well, so who do we have down here again?
Hi, I'm Kavika. I'm an intern right now. I joined the team back in August, and I've really found a family here. I've always wanted to go into nonprofit work and been passionate about human rights, education being a human right. So yeah, here I am, first time in Colorado as well. I'm from California, and I'm really excited to meet everyone in person, and I'm really passionate about growing the clubs program that we have in the U.S., in which clubs here fundraise for their sister school in Uganda. So Lakewood has Global Leaders, the school they built, as their sister school, and that's how Global Leaders has had so much opportunities there because of Lakewood and our past with Lakewood. So
Where'd you go to school in California?
I just graduated from UC Davis in June of 2023. So
Congratulations.
thank you so much. And this is such an amazing opportunity for me too. Seeing these incredible women lead this organization also serves as an inspiration for me, as well as other women and other people that want to go into more community-based and nonprofit work. So I'm really proud of the work that they've accomplished so far, but I also want to do even greater things that we can do, especially with youth empowerment here in the U.S.
Yeah. Jayme, you were grabbing the microphone. Were you going to say something?
Yeah, because I'm just so happy that Kavika's here with us. Like, she's, representing the next generation of young people, young women especially, who are interested in ethical, locally led international development. I see a lot of like us in Kavika. And so when she applied for our internship, it was the perfect fit. She has a lot of experience with clubs and empowering young people. And we were like, gosh, we have to take you to Lakewood and bring you on this tour so that she could meet young people from across, Denver metro area who are interested in kind of getting their skin in the game to do real world work. And, we talk a lot about how you don't have to leave home. You don't have to go all the way to Uganda to make an impact. And that's a big part of Kavika's work has been, how do we educate and empower kids here in Denver, or kids all across the U.S. We have clubs in California, Texas, and Florida, all over the place. And how do we get these kids involved in the type of development work that we're doing, and help them find their purpose the same way I did, the same way Collins did, and Rita and Kavika. This work's been really amazing, so we're really psyched to have her here.
Yeah.
Thank you. I just wanted to add one more thing. I think earlier when I joined Faraway Friends, Jayme really talked about how for young people, there are limited opportunities in the U.S. to do something about things outside of the U.S. And for me personally, it's always, there's always something I want to do when I hear about something on the news that really affects me. And I think that, getting involved and having the opportunity to be a part of this organization is a way for the youth community to really put their work across and really get stuff done and have these skills for their life.
Yeah. So how can someone help Faraway Friends? I guess let's just get into that since we're talking about that right now. Let's just go there. How can someone help Faraway Friends?
Yeah, I'm gonna let Collins take that one because she's been talking all about it today. So there's a lot of different ways to get involved, but would love for you to hear that from Collins.
Yeah, there's so many ways that we can have people get involved with Faraway Friends right now. We were able to work with Lakewood High School to build Global Leaders. And like I told you, we are feeding about 500 children at Global Leaders 3 meals a day. And it hasn't been easy.
What is Global Leaders?
Yeah, Global Leaders is the primary school, Global Leaders Primary School that we built in northern Uganda.
Oh, that's the name of the school.
Yeah, that's the name of the school.
Global Leaders Primary School.
Yes.
I don't know. You probably told me that.
Yeah, we call it GLP for short.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So like I said, we are feeding 500 children 3 meals a day. It hasn't been easy. Actually, after COVID, Jayme called me and said, Collins, we have to reduce the number of students at our school. And I was like, okay, why? And she said, it's been bad. The economy is not doing so good. And of course, COVID has slowed things down. We are not getting as much funds as we used to get. And also prices of things in Uganda are just doubling. And I was like, okay, what do I do? And she said, we might have to reduce the number of children by half. And so I went back to my team and I told them the state of the affair. And I said, we have to reduce the number of the children. So go think about this, pray about it. Tomorrow we are going to have a meeting in the morning on how to reduce the number of children at Global Leaders as they report on their first day back to school after 2 years of COVID break. And that was tough.
After being out of school for 2 years
2 years.
already,
Yes.
which was terrible here, even in the U.S.
Yes.
They had laptops, they have the online training, but the psychological part and the social
Yeah.
as growth with the children. It just got affected so much.
Yeah, our children were so much affected being in rural Uganda, not having access to any kind of information, really, and not being able to read. We tried to do distance learning programs where our teachers were going into the community and teaching, but that wasn't even enough. But with that, now we're faced with the challenge of having to send them back home because we don't have enough funds to keep all of them. And so the following morning, preparing to go for the meeting, the tough meeting on deciding how to reduce number of kids from 500 to 250, and this one kid comes very early in the morning at around 7, and usually in Uganda children will report a few days later because they are maybe wrapping up their work at home, helping their parents finish garden work, or preparing just their things to come back to school. But these children were coming as early as 7 on the first day. And I asked one kid, I was like, why have you come back so early? What is it that you missed so much at school? And this child told me, because this is the only place I'm assured of food, and I'm assured of 3 meals a day. And I was like, that should make it easy for me. How am I going to send some of these kids home, and how do we decide which one goes back home, which one stays at school? And our school parents are supposed to pay a little bit of fees just to keep the school going and to, encourage them to be able to pay something for their children to go to school, but it's not enough to feed the kids. And so I come back to the teachers and I say, I don't think we are going to succeed in reducing the number of the kids. Can we change the topic and say, instead of how to reduce the number of the kids, how do we feed 500 children with the limited funds that we are being given? And the teachers liked it better, and we started going, and we were like, let's remove all the meat in the budget. We removed all the meat. Let's remove all the rice. And in Uganda, in schools, eating rice is like Christmas. It's exciting because it's expensive and children don't get to eat them so frequently. And so we're like, let's remove all the rice. We usually give bread to the nursery children. We're like, remove all the bread, remove some of the sugar, remove some of the cooking oil, remove this and that. And we remained with plain posho and beans. And still we couldn't get to 400 or even, and we were like, what else do we remove? So Jamie had offered us health insurance as staff. We're like, let's remove that. Who needs health insurance when children have to be fed? So we removed health insurance, and that pushed us a little bit closer to 500. And as I speak, we are able, yes, to feed 500 children basic a meal of posho and beans or porridge. But some months are even harder. Like we're here now, we really haven't even bought enough food for till the end of the year. But we are hopeful that with all the hard work we're doing here, going to high schools, getting more people involved, and even with this, we hope that people can hear our stories and get to help us keep these children in school and feed them. So we are right now doing a campaign where we are signing up people to fundraise $200, because for $200 you can feed one child a whole year. And if you sign up for $200, when Jamie and I started this program, we're like, we don't have any money. But when we talk to people who care about us, about our dreams and about our vision, they're able to come create a community that can do something. So for $200, you could probably talk to your friends. I learned that there are so many rich grandmothers in the US. You can talk to your rich grandmother. You can talk to your auntie, your cousin. Little by little, you can create $200 that would sponsor one child for a whole year. And now for us to sponsor all 500 children, that's how many $200 we need from.
Well, rich grandmother can give up 100,000, and that feeds them all for the
Hey,
for the
there you
year.
go. If you know
Yeah.
someone, send them our way.
Yeah, we believe that people are willing to support, people are willing to help as long as they know what the challenge is. And for $280, you can actually pay a teacher a month. And that's also another option. We're definitely looking for people to help us pay our staff. We would definitely like health insurance. For this year, we don't have it. For next year, if we could have it. So our goal with this tour is to raise about $100,000 so that next year we are not like working and paying things as they come. At least we would have a break and fundraise in advance. That's, yeah.
So what is being done locally to sustain this? So you can always ask for money.
Yes.
But also at the same time, you'd like to generate some money locally,
Yes.
so that eventually you can get off of having to ask other people for money, right?
Yeah, that's the goal. We really want global leaders to become self-sustainable. One way is, of course, schools through school fees. If parents are more empowered to pay school fees for their children, that would be amazing. Right now, we are unable even to make it to 50% school fees collection. It's very minimal as well. Each child pays about $60 worth of school fees, and the parents are unable even to make that.
60 a month or 60 a year?
60 in 3 months. So we have 3 school
So
terms
240 a year, but you're out of school for the summer, right?
Yeah, so
So there's 3 school terms. So they're
$180 a student.
so it's like
Yeah.
9 months. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what is the average income of a Ugandan for like these parents?
less than $1 a day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow. Less than $1 a day.
less than $1 a day. Yes,
Wow.
Yeah.
What does $1 buy in Uganda for like food?
a lot. If you have $1, you can feed your family. You can probably provide breakfasts for the whole family. Our families are big, like you may have 10 people living under one household. You can buy sugar, you can buy cooking, you can even make lunch out of $1.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. How expensive is meat there?
A kilo of meat right now is
15,000.
15,000. So that is what, like $4.
For beef or lamb or what?
Beef, goat. Yeah.
So $4 a pound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So expensive.
Yes, it's very expensive. And the same with rice is 4,000. So about $1. But that's expensive as well for a family because
Yeah, for a whole day's wages.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, let's say an American's making, I don't know, $200 a day is probably the average.
Yeah.
Americans making $200 a day is, that's about 50,000 a year. I think that's the average.
Yeah.
So that'd be like an American with their daily wage could buy 200 bags of rice.
Uh-huh.
That's crazy.
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, but we're trying to make global leaders sustainable, and we have also come up with initiatives like we've right now built a maize mill factory that should be able to help global leaders mill all our corn, but also help the community mill their corn, and that's one way that we would be getting income from the community. So you pay to mill your corn, and all that would go back into helping global leaders become self-sustainable.
Oh, so you charge other people. That's not just for the school.
Yes.
Did you say that last time we talked? I thought it was just for the school, but maybe I missed that.
Yeah, so the awesome thing is that the maize mill is going to be supportive for the school. So anything that's generated will go back into Global Leaders, our school. But also that saves farmers, hundreds and hundreds of dollars in production of their final product, right? Because right now they're traveling like 3 hours to get up to Lira. If they're based in a Molitor district where we work, they're harvesting their corn, taking that 3 hours to Lira, getting it milled at like a super fine flour miller, and then they have to package it, bring it back, and sell it at the market back at home. So they're paying for fuel, for packaging, the transportation of it. It's exponentially more expensive when you have to go to another city to do it. But we've brought that same need and said, okay, how do we bring that to the local level where we're creating a business that is a need in the community, but also is solving problems for them as well.
Yeah, so you're generating money for the school.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you have other programs in plans?
Yeah, we have so many ideas and plans for sustainable plans for global leaders. We've drawn a plan for a bakery. We have plan for poultry farm, irrigation for agriculture. And so all of these are ideas and plans that we have. If we are able to execute them, we believe that Global Leaders would be 100% sustainable. But even now, Global Leaders is providing 50% of the meals that the children are eating at Global Leaders. So it's just the 50% that we're looking for.
So like Colin said, about 50% of our kids pay school fees. And then so we use that funding from Global Leaders, and Faraway Friends comes in and kind of subsidizes that gap so that the school is also, has that piece that they're providing, and Faraway Friends is coming in with a joint hand to support that feeding program.
So yeah, like I've seen programs in other schools here in the U.S. where they would have like a culinary arts school, but part of that culinary arts school, they would have a restaurant area where those students would be learning how to make food and then also selling it to the public.
Exactly.
And they generate money for the program.
Yeah. That's what the kind of the bakery that we're talking about. We would be, first of all, making bread that the children can have at school or buy because their parents give them pocket money. And then we would also be selling this bread to the entire, district of Amolatar, even other districts surrounding Amolatar. And so some of those are very great ideas. And we've seen it work with other nonprofits in Uganda, in other districts as well. It's just the capital to build the bakery.
Would the bakery do like other things, like make cakes, cookies, other things, so that these students are also learning how to become a chef maybe?
Yes, they're learning to be, how do they call them?
Culinary artist or something?
Yes, so if they learned how to bake, and also there are simple ovens that they would use, that someone can leave Global Leaders and go and start a bakery of their own, or learn how to make bread, local ovens, and that would be definitely a Skills for Life program as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then do like with animals maybe. I don't know what the industry is with animals. Michael, do you know what the industry is with animals? Is that
you mean
agriculture?
You mean
agriculture?
I,
Is it agriculture?
Yeah,
yeah,
it's under
domesticated
agriculture.
animals is agriculture.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm a city boy. So
So if we had a poultry farm and also rearing goats, that way we wouldn't even have had to cut off meat from our diet, because we would have our own goats, but also be able to sell to the community. We would have chickens.
Yeah, right now we do a Market Day fund that happens, a fundraising campaign that happens every February, where Americans, our friends around the world, can look on our website, and there's different things like chickens and goats, and you can purchase one online, and then that money gets sent to Collins and Rita to go and buy those items. But truly it's never enough, right? So we do that in February, and that maybe takes us to like April, and then our goats and chickens run out, and then we're needing more chickens and goats. But if we could find a way to have a breeding program or a poultry farm, that can solve a lot of those problems. But like Collins was saying, it's always the capital that we're looking for, investors or philanthropists who want to make an impact in that way.
Yeah. So Rita, what do you do for do you work with Faraway Friends as well, or just the school back in Uganda?
So I work with Faraway Friends as an executive assistant because Faraway Friends works together with Global Leaders. So one of the activities, of course, of Faraway Friends is Global Leaders. So I'm also always on the ground at school, making sure that it's running well. And then also other activities of Faraway Friends, like they partner with other government schools in the area, like about 6 government schools. So we have a Skills for Life program that we implement in those schools. So we make sure that those skills are like being taught and implemented.
Are you pretty strict? You seem like you keep everybody in line. Huh?
The kids like her because she's the fun one. She's always doing TikTok dances with them.
Oh. But you look like you could be serious if you have to be.
No.
No? Well, you have that look. So if you ever want to, if you ever want to bluff somebody, you have the face for it. You could just give them a serious look and you'd scare them. Yeah. So just keep that in your back pocket. Yeah. And yeah. So, wow. So much. So the LRA, are they now gone? Whoops. Are they gone for good?
Yeah, so the LRA left northern Uganda, so there is now peace, but they've moved on to other countries. We believe that they're somewhere in between Central African Republic or Congo or maybe Southern Sudan. It's hard to track where they are. They hide in the big jungles of those countries, and they're still abducting, and they're still, looting places and burning houses and killing. Yes.
Still exists, still doing that. What
Yeah.
does LRA stand for?
The Lord's Resistance Army.
The Lords?
Yes.
Like the Lord?
Yes. They first this
They think
Joseph Kony.
Yeah, I remember Joseph Kony.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
thought he was going to overthrow the government of Uganda, and he believed that he was sent by the Lord to resist the government of Uganda. Yeah.
One of those guys.
Wasn't there like some story that he was like led by the 10 Commandments or something to like do the work he did, and then he's like abducting people's kids, so it
Yeah.
just makes no sense at all.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
Alice Lakwena, who
Alice
was
Lakwena.
being led by the Spirit,
Yeah.
apparently. Yeah, but they all believed that, they were more spiritual.
So did you guys kick his ass, or what happened? How did they leave Uganda? What was the process for that? Or was it like the Ugandan army or something?
Yeah, the Ugandan army did most of the work. The US joined forces with the Ugandan military, I think, training them or something like that. And also, there was just more awareness about their atrocities that they were committing in northern Uganda. And so many people knew about it. There were radio programs going on about what they were doing. And so they started to flee from any possible, attacks from the different people that were looking for them now.
Is there any chance for them to ever come back in that region, you think?
I don't think so. I don't think they would ever come back and fight. Maybe another rebel group, but the LRA must be weak now.
Good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Ugandan army is pretty strong now?
Yes. The Ugandan army is strong. The government of Uganda has invested quite a bit on the military force.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
important, especially in probably a region like that where
Yeah.
you have a group like the LRA kind of out there
Yes.
causing problems.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you ever thought about running for office or anything?
Yes. So I believe that my community, there's so much to be done to improve or just really bring the development that we need. And I ran for member of parliament in the last election, and unfortunately I couldn't make it, and I'm still going to run because I still see the gaps, and I believe that my community needs a voice like mine to speak for my people. I grew up in northern Uganda. I have grown up in the challenges. And in the past, really, we've had people coming from other districts and coming to represent Amolata district in the parliament of Uganda. And we are now educated. We have educated young people in Amolata that know what the people of Amolata deserve and how to demand for that.
You said Amolata?
Amolata district, yes.
Is that the town you're from or the district you're from?
That's the district I'm from.
What towns are in there? How many towns are in there? Or how many people?
Amolata district, we are actually found we are in the center of Uganda, and I believe that we are about 140, 150 people.
140,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally the center of Uganda. When she's saying the center, like geographic center of it
Yeah.
is the heart of the country for
Yeah.
sure.
So 140,000
1,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
to 150,000 people.
So about the size of Lakewood, Colorado.
Yeah.
Kind of. I think that's where about Lakewood's at somewhere.
And the
around
whole of Uganda is about the size, geographically, the size of Colorado. But we have 40 million people.
there. Yeah, I think we have like 6.5 million or
Yeah,
something.
5.5,
7 million maybe at the
something.
most.
Yes.
40 million.
Yes.
That's more than Texas. Texas has 38 million, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of people.
But Texas got a way bigger landmass than Uganda has, right? So,
Yeah.
And last time I was on the show, I had mentioned to you guys that Uganda is by population one of the youngest countries in the world. And I mean, when you go to Uganda, it's visible. Like you can see, like there's so many young people everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah.
Over 50% of our population is below the age of 18.
How old do you have to be to vote in the district that you were running for, or parliament?
18 years old.
We'll see. You have all these kids going through your school, and they're all going to love you.
Yes.
And then they're all going to vote for you once they graduate high school.
Yeah, but also politics of Uganda has become very, how do they call it? Financial. People are handing out money, and you have all these people that have probably worked in bigger positions in the government, and they have a lot of money, and they come back home and they're buying votes and giving people money and incentives to be able to vote them. So it's hard to compete against that, because what people are looking for is handout. Oh, I need my child to go to school. Here is 50,000 shillings, or here is 10,000 shillings. Here is 5,000 shillings. And if you don't have that to give, you just have to have a really tough strategy. And I believe that with time, just educating my people on the importance of voting the right kind of leaders versus voting, the handouts that we are being given would be what will save us.
Yeah, you took the words out of my mouth. I was just going to say that, because once you show people a better way of life, then they don't care if someone pays them money to get their vote. They're going to be like, no, wait a minute. Collins is over here. This is what we want for us and our kids. Once you show that to people, they won't cast their vote for $1.
Yeah, we're trying. There's actually a lot of manipulation as well. A few weeks ago, I went for an event where I was given an opportunity to speak, and I spoke to my community about the power of education and encouraging people to send their children to school, but also working hard for household livelihood. And a local radio station went and totally changed my speech and said, oh, Collins is saying people should not have like saving groups or VLSAs, and people shouldn't give in the church. People should just send children to school, and that's it. And it's like people are able to do that and just go and manipulate information that they pass out to the community, and just politics of, anger and hatred, which is very unhealthy as well and challenging in a way. But like you said, we continue to educate our people and continue to provide the opportunity for them to see firsthand what can be done.
Yeah. I wanted to go through some of those pictures that you had, Michael, and I wanted you guys to explain some of these to us if you could, because I know we looked at a lot of things last time Jamie was here, but these are new pictures. This, can you back up to that other one? So that one, I don't remember that from last time. What is that one?
Yeah, so this is the back of our school, and you can see like really the rural setting that our school's in. This is the kind of back high view where you can see our 2 dorms. About 300 out of the 500 students that go to our school live on campus full time, 9 months out of the year. The school is those 2 front buildings. You can see our solar panels on the building to the left there.
So wait, I don't think I picked that up last. Did we say that earlier? That students live there?
Yeah, so we're a mixed day and boarding school. So we have a percentage of kids that come just for day school, like you would here, like a public school, and then about 300 kids that are boarding full time. And Collins, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we have how many kids on full scholarship?
About 100.
About 100 kids are orphans that have been chosen by the community, whether that's churches or mosques or local groups that choose children from the community to come to the school for free. So they don't have families that can kind of donate or participate any sort of funding towards their kids' education. So the parents that bring their kids to our school and do pay fees are also covering those orphans. So it's really a community investment. When you pay a school fee, you know that that's not only supporting your child, but also an orphan from your community that has been chosen to go to our school.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't pick up on that before.
So when we tell you about the feeding program, it's no joke. Like, this is breakfast, lunch, and dinner full time for the kids. So you can see we have quite a bit of land and space, and way far up in like the top section of this photo is actually the lake. So that is Lake Kyoga. And until 2013, there was.
Where is that at?
That's like,
is that the blue on the
that
top?
blue on top, right? So
That's
the sky
a
is
lake?
top,
Yeah,
and then the
that's
lake.
the lake.
Is
Wow,
there.
I thought that was just like clouds or something in
No,
the sky.
yeah,
that's
the
a lake.
Yeah, it's the second biggest lake in Uganda, and yeah, it was very.
Is that freshwater lake?
Is it freshwater?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
freshwater.
Oh, so you guys can grow stuff and really
Irrigation, yes. If we had the irrigation system, there's already water.
Wow.
So this entire community, Jeremiah, was like surrounded by water on all sides. We're kind of in a peninsula that juts out into the lake, and until recently there wasn't even like a motorized ferry that could cross the lake, like where you can drive your car onto it. So it was a college, I believe it was Makerere University, said that a Mulatar district, this area, Namasale specifically, was one of the most cut off regions in the whole country because of its location. It was very difficult to get to, which contributed to the educational poverty that was there for so many years.
But the oldest kids at this school, they're like 8th grade, right?
They're like 17 years.
So,
we have kids
yeah.
old as 17.
But I mean, there's not a high school.
No, so we just go up from like preschool level through like what would be equivalent to like our 8th grade, but is called primary 7. And that's when those kids take that really heavy exam that determines whether they're going to go on to high school. And now that's the same exam that kids in the city are taking. So you're expecting kids from this community to take the exact same test that kids with access to computers in the capital city are taking. Well, of course, the kids in this community are not going to pass at the same rate as kids in a city center are going to. But that's what our work is doing, is trying to level that playing field to ensure that no matter how rural the community, these kids, no matter how far away they are, deserve the same access.
How far is that lake away from the school?
Like
So last time
You can walk
to that.
It's
lake.
like a 10-15 minute walk from
Is
the
it-
school
is it
out
a-
to the lake.
Is it a mile, half a mile?
1 kilometer.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what is that?
Yeah, that's less than a mile.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking, like, eventually you could start an agricultural program.
Yeah.
where-
If we could have irrigation equipments, definitely that has been one big project that we've even already drawn a plan for irrigation, because it's also very dry. The fact that it's by the lake, the rains are not as frequent.
Mm-hmm.
You know, other parts of the country have more rains than Amolata district, and of course the climate has changed, so we can't predict the rain so much, and irrigation would be the only best way to go.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking out loud. Yeah. So you want to keep going, guys?
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the
We
pictures?
might have a couple other pictures in there. This is a shot at one of our sister schools. Like Rita said, we have about 6 sister schools. There might be some more photos in here too of, so this is kind of a map of what our campus looks like. So you can see the classroom blocks, boys and girls dorms, but we also offer staff housing. We have 12 apartments for our teachers in the very far back of the property. Teachers housing is supposed to be given to all Ugandan teachers. That's kind of a standard that's set, but it's not available at most schools. But we really wanted to give our teachers the opportunity to have, their housing taken care of and be close by. Unfortunately, we don't have enough apartments for all of our teachers. We only have 12 apartments now, so some of them still rent in town, but you can definitely see the growth of the campus over the years, how it's gotten bigger.
Yeah. What do we got next here?
Yeah, so this is a fun series of photos Michael will take us through. This is 2016, our first class of kids. I believe most of these kids were boarding students at the time.
Yeah, they were all boarding.
Yeah, and you can see 2017, we're slowly growing. Every year we get a little more kids, a few more baby class kids in particular. This was 2019, right before COVID happened. I think we might have 2022. This is our
So you just lost
recent,
2 years right there.
Exactly. So Uganda had the longest school closure in the world during COVID. So they had a full 22 months of school closures.
Well, next time that happens, just don't close the schools. We learned the hard way it wasn't worth it, right?
Yeah.
Because did you have a lot of people pass away in Uganda, or wasn't that bad?
Uganda did an amazing job at locking down the country.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was same thing here. And U.S. supposedly had the worst, but it didn't justify it. But that's a whole nother thing. So we learned. Hopefully, shutting down the schools was the worst thing we did.
Yeah.
But we thought it was going to be worse than it was. Apparently, it wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have sports teams. This is our boys soccer team, Collins.
Yes.
I believe. Yeah, we also have a girls soccer team at GLP for the first time. Our meal program, though, is really what draws kids to school every day, and is ironically also the hardest thing to fund and the most expensive part of what we do.
So who does the soccer team, are they organized? Do they play is there like an organization?
There's school competitions. So we have different schools within Amolatar competing, and actually our school was the best this term as well.
So they won. Is there like a championship or something, or do they do like a
district championship? Yes.
Our kids have also been just reeling in those blue ribbons. You want to share about nationals?
Yeah, we did compete also in the music, dance, and drama competitions, and we were the best in the region, and we went to represent northern Uganda in the Uganda National Music and Dance and Drama Competition.
Nice.
And it was very exciting. Most of our children had never left their district and gone even to the nearest district of Lira City. And this time round, we brought a whole big bus, and they were getting in the bus for the first time and driving all these, seeing all these new things and development along the way. They were so excited.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah.
I think we might have a couple more pictures here of our campus, or you can see this is our school lunch line. So meal times is like a rush, right, Rita, to get to the front of the line as quick as possible, right? Yeah, we also have one of the only playgrounds in actually like most of the district, right? I don't think I've ever seen a playground like ours in a Molitar district.
Is that an airplane? Like a little.
That's an airplane. At the beginning of when we just put the airplane, kids passing in front of the school would tell their parents that school has an airplane. And so when they brought them there, that was one of the reasons they wanted to come to Global Leaders Primary School. And one time one kid went back home and told the mother, "Mom, our airplane doesn't actually fly. It stays on the ground."
What did he say? Timothy was like, "Mom, I thought it was going to take me to America, and it turns out it doesn't go anywhere."
Yeah.
Yeah. Our community well also provides the opportunity for families in the neighborhood to come and access our well free of charge. They can come anytime. So I think about 70 families per day can have access to this well, as well as our students and all of the teachers too.
Oh, so you guys offer free water to the nearby whoever wants to, whoever can make it there. And
that's right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that on a well?
Yeah. We did that in, was that
deep well?
2018? 2017?
Yeah, I think 2018.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow.
It's another community resource. This is a recent development. Collins, you want to share about the clinic?
Yeah, so now we have a school clinic serving all our children. In the past, we would have to go to the nearest health center, which is maybe also a kilometer away. But now we do have our own school nurse. We have almost 20 children getting malaria every day. And without treatment, of course, malaria is a high killer in Uganda. And so we are able to treat our children right from the school.
How do you cure malaria? Is that like a shot you have to get?
Yes, if you already have malaria, you may be going to take the pills, or if it is already maybe there is plus, it can go to 3 pluses. If it is a plus, you might get a shot, like an IV injection.
And 20 children a day get
Y-
malaria.
Yes, yeah.
It's
We're
just
treating
normal.
20 children a day. And we try to have the children sleep under mosquito nets, but they are reading in the evening, they are playing outside, and there are mosquitoes everywhere. So it's really hard to keep them away from the mosquitoes, and we constantly have malaria.
So how did you do when you went there?
Yeah, so when we travel to Uganda, we take anti-malarial medication. So like a doxycycline, or you can do like Malarone. It just prevents your the infection, the contraction, I guess. But it's true, Colin's right. Like once you get malaria once, like it can recur without getting bit by a mosquito, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can always.
Which is kind of wild. So like once you have it, you can get it like seasonally.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, it
and
can flare back up.
Yeah.
It's in you.
Yeah, it's there. You treat it and it's not well treated. It's not cured. You will still get it, and it comes back worse than when you first had
You've
it.
gotten malaria here, like had a malaria outbreak while you were traveling here before.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
they took my blood to test, and they were like, the results will come back in 3 days. I don't know, they're taking it to which state. And I'm like, I will have died. Just treat me.
Yeah. That was a weird thing, because you were like, the American doctors like don't know how to treat this. Like at home, I would just get prescribed by meds.
Yeah,
and,
if I have
no
malaria,
problem.
I know all the symptoms, and I know what medication to take. But yeah, you can still test, and there's rapid test in minutes. You know if you have malaria.
So in Uganda, they're prepared for it.
Yes.
They're like, oh, okay, come here. Boom, here you go.
Yeah, they check you.
In America, they're
minutes.
like,
It
we don't know what to
being
do.
taken to Atlanta. I'm like, that's just malaria.
Yeah. They come back and say it's malaria, and you say, yeah, I know. Yeah. Figures. And then
Wow.
that's like part of like growing up in this like community, and something like I learned when I went there for the first time is like that wasn't even a thought in my brain. Like I would just, maybe you get the flu, maybe you get colds at school, but like our kids are dealing with contracting like literally deadly diseases that need to be treated because it can kill them, especially the little kids. So the addition of a school nurse and having a clinic on site has been like truly a game
Amazing.
changer in keeping our kids healthy.
wow, I didn't even think of it either till you said it.
Mm-hmm.
So having that health clinic, yeah, it looks nice.
Yeah.
What happened to the person there in the
That one
wheelchair?
hit her head, I think, on the wall.
But I love this photo because she looks so happy to just sit in the wheelchair. She's psyched about it, like to go to the school.
She's happy
nurse.
she's getting her picture taken.
Exactly. So funny.
She knows it's going to be on the Our World podcast.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yes.
Yeah. Collins, maybe you can share a little bit about our AfroPad project briefly.
Yeah, so most of our kids are unable to actually afford sanitary hygiene products, and girls also get to stay at home if they don't have the sanitary hygiene products. You can't go to school. We, as an organization, we provide sanitary hygiene products for all our girls at Global Leaders and also our partner schools.
Yeah, this is what you told us about this last time. Jamie did a great job telling us about this last time. And you guys, those are actually a local product that you guys buy from a local supplier. These are manufactured in Uganda?
In Uganda,
Yeah.
and made by Ugandan women who work at the AfroPads factory, and it's empowering people from all angles. So we're really psyched to be working with them. And, this is one simple tool that can keep girls in school longer.
Keep girls in school. Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
point that I remember you stressing about
Absolutely.
that. And that's great.
Mm-hmm. So we've handed out hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pads, packs of AfroPads over the years. Every time we go and visit one of our sister schools, we try to do a girls empowerment workshop, but we also include boys in that. Collins, you taught me a lot about how important it is to include boys in even sensitive topics that affect girls too.
Yeah, because if the boys don't know, they're not going to be able to help the girls, and someday they are going to be husbands, they're going to be fathers, and they need, and also to just for them to know that anything that affects a girl can affect them. If you're laughing at a girl who has maybe soiled her dress, that girl is going to drop out of school and it affects the entire community.
Yeah, and like you said, one day that could be their daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, so teaching them the ethics and the respect. It's great.
Yeah, this is a brand new development that is very recent. We have now the only computer lab at a primary school in the entire district. We mentioned this last time I was on. Getting kids those tech resources is so important for job skills. And that's Rita and I interviewed a couple kids recently about what they thought. Maybe Rita, you can share a little bit about what the kids' reactions were to getting computers.
So the kids were so excited about computers. Some of them, just like me, I touched like a computer when I was at the university. So it was like a surprise and a blessing for them. They are so excited now to learn computers. And they want to learn now things, how to type, how to send an email. Yeah, they're excited. Chat with friends. Yeah.
Even for our teachers.
So
Even
are
the
they
teachers as well?
So are they doing like Word docs, Excel spreadsheets, learning that kind of stuff as well?
Yes, we already have them on the simple things on the computer,
Typing.
Word, typing, Excel, and all that.
Nice.
Yes.
That's great.
Our staff.
Oh, is that the staff?
Yeah. This is our the former students of Global Leaders Primary School. They are now in high school. So Jamie, Caitlin, and Rita went to visit them.
Can you go back to the staff really quick, Michael? So are these teachers?
Yeah, these are teachers, and most of them are teaching staff, and then the nurse.
The nurses in the white, I'm guessing.
Yeah, the
Yes.
nurses in the way. So our teachers do wear uniforms as well. Our students also wear uniforms.
Actually, all those are teaching staff and the nurse.
Yep.
Wow. What is that right there?
This is one of our partner schools, Agidaksid Senior Secondary School. It's actually a sister school of Decoder Ridge. And this day we were just giving the girls sanitary hygiene products.
Oh, okay. This isn't at your school. This is at that other
This
school.
is at
Yeah.
one of our partner schools. These are kids from our school.
That's an old one.
Little us.
What, the sign or the picture?
Picture. Wow. That must be 2016, Collins, you think?
Yeah, I think the year we opened Global Leaders Primary School. Just chilling.
There's our computer lab.
Finishing up construction,
Yeah.
getting ready.
Yeah.
Very good. So when these kids finish with school, what is you obviously you don't want to educate students. Can you flip to the next one or something? That thing, there you go. You don't want to educate students and then have them move because there's no opportunity or something to do. Like you got a kid, he's like, oh, I have all this knowledge now. Now I'm a beast. I can go anywhere in the world. And you want to say, hold on, wait a minute. We want you to stay here in our community, and we want you to help make our community better.
Yeah, first we have to, our biggest challenge is educating these children through primary school. And like Jamie said, about 75% of students in northern Uganda are unable to continue on to high school. And so that's another challenge that even us at Global Leaders we face, making sure that these children actually continue to high school and can go to university or to tertiary institutions. And so that's our number one problem. But also hoping that whenever they finish their education, even if they go outside of the district to look for jobs, they can always come back and, do something in the community and help develop the community.
Yeah, I've seen that in a lot of situations in different African countries. There's always those people, those men and women. They may even go to school in Europe or the United States, and then they're always drawn back. Their heart draws them back, and you see like they become people who are trying to do things in their community, and maybe not necessarily leaders, because as we said earlier, some of the leaders kind of got that things on lockdown.
Yeah.
But you see they're really trying to do things, and you see these brilliant people who are clearly educated to the top levels, and they're there like trying to make a difference.
Yeah, when you grow up in a situation like we do, even for me, when I first came to the US, people were asking me, why don't you find a job here? Why don't you stay and work here? And I couldn't see myself living and working in the US because there's not so much I can change. Everything is, very well developed. There's a system. There's not such a big lack as it is in my community. We lack almost everything. I could best use myself to bring development or to, connect people to my community. And that's where I want to work. That's where I can make changes possible.
Absolutely. That was a beautiful answer. Yeah, that was. So you guys, are there more pictures on here?
This is our music, dance, and drama performance. Our children were in Hoima computer class.
Well, thank you for sharing the pictures. Jamie, thanks for sending those to us. So you guys are basically doing would you call it a U.S. tour right now?
We're doing a U.S. tour.
Is that what it is?
Yeah. We're calling it our Breaking Cycles, Building Futures tour. And we're getting Collins in front of as many audiences as we can. We're in Colorado until about the 21st, meeting with high school students, our donors and supporters here, brand new friends. Then we'll be going on to Houston, Texas, where we have some connections there. Hopefully talking to some schools while we're out there, and then moving on to Sarasota, Florida, where we also have an incredible school partner who has a sister school in Uganda. Going to go give them some updates, meeting with some donors out there. And then you guys are off to DC for a little bit as well. So it's going to be a busy month.
Yeah. So what are some links that people can look up to find your work and to donate, to find more information out about Faraway Friends and about the school, global leaders and everything?
Yeah, if you want to learn more, farawayfriends.org is the best place to go. That's where all our resources are. If you're a listener that maybe has a high school student that might be interested, definitely shoot us an email. Check out our Schools for Schools program. Kavika will be happy to reach out to your student if they're interested in getting involved. And like Colin said earlier, we're on this tour asking people to donate $200 to cover the cost of one student to have 3 meals a day for the rest of, for 1 year. So starting this term into next year, we need 500 donors to give $200. So far, we're chipping away at that. Our high school partners are on fire to help us out.
Around 50 already?
Yeah, I think we have 50 fundraising partners at high schools, Dakota Ridge High School, Lakewood High School, supporting that cause. So
what's a fundraising partner? Somebody who donated money?
Yeah, so the kids are actually signing up to fundraise themselves. So they set a $200 goal. We call them a fundraising partner. We tell them, hey, reach out to your rich grandma in California or your aunts and uncles, ask them to donate $50. $200 might seem like a lot to, a high school kid that's like, oh gosh, how am I going to raise $200? But we're really hoping to show them that, when you care about something the way that we did, and you bring that forward to your community and say, hey, listen, I care about this and I want to make a change, your people are going to show up to support you in a big way. So we think we can hit this $100,000 goal before the end of the year. Working on it.
Yeah, you have 2.5 months left?
That's right.
Yeah, it's a long time.
That's right.
Yeah. So did you say, are those all the links?
Yeah, farawayfriends.org. If you're interested in becoming a monthly donor, let's say that $200 up front seems a little tedious. You can become a monthly donor at farawayfriends.org/advocate. We call our monthly donors advocates because they're truly advocating for the locally led development work that we're doing in Uganda and for our kids and teachers on the ground there.
We want to get some pumps in that lake, and we want to start pumping water over there to you guys and start an agricultural program.
That's right.
That's what you guys should do.
Yeah,
Next time
definitely.
you guys come, we'll have to update Jeremiah on that.
That'd be awesome.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
for
Jamie,
having us.
Rita, Collins. Pronounce your name again.
Kavika.
Kavika. Yeah, I've never heard that name before. Have you guys heard that name before?
No, she's a one of a kind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks for having us, Jeremiah. We're so psyched to come back here, and I was so thrilled for Collins to meet you guys.
Yeah.
And thanks for letting us share our story.
Yeah, Michael and I have been so happy for you to come.
Oh,
Like,
thank you so
yeah.
much. Thank you for sharing our story.
Yeah, you're exactly what I pictured you to be.
What did you picture?
Yeah. No, just a very strong, good person. And yeah, and then you brought your sister,
Yes.
who looks like she's tough, but you say she's not.
I'm actually the tough one. I get on the kids.
I can see
When
that.
I look, they just know principals. It means this.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
All right.